Hey friends, I'm Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to the Sunday show. I'm gonna put a poll up in a minute, and you guys are gonna get to pick what we do. The ultimate freestyle tiny whoop. First, it was the ultimate freestyle tiny whoop, and then. So back in the day, basically when the 0702 30,000 kV motors came out, I started calling this the ultimate freestyle tiny whoop. When the 32,000 kV 0702s came out, I started calling this the ultimate freestyle tiny whoop. Now that this super lightweight Meteor 65 airframe is out, I shall call it the ultimate freestyle tiny whoop. Until you guys tell me not to. So we did a bunch of durability testing of the Meteor 65 airframe on Friday. This has been a crazy weekend. I'm super exhausted. We can either, or we can do both. we can either let the durability testing continue and let the torturing continue, or we can move the all black ultimate freestyle tiny whoop over to the black airframe. I don't know. We can do both. We can certainly spend some time at the bench moving that over to the airframe. I'm tempted to leave it in the regular Meteor 65 frame, and we can test the ultimate versus the ultimate. You know what I mean? I would like to move it over though, because I think the Meteor 65 airframe is a winner. And I think it was Hockey Rounds over on Discord noticed something really interesting about the airframe that I want to show you guys. Was it Hockey Rounds? Yeah, it's Hockey Rounds. So there's that. We got some stuff we're gonna do. Under the camera right now, I was just removing some prototype motors from this iFlight frame that looks a lot like the cockroach frame, but the AIOs don't fit right in this. I don't know what to do with this. I have two of these iFlight frames. They're kind of interesting. They look just like the Newbie Drone cockroach frame, which is a good thing. But you're going to have to put a cross-style AIO in here. So this is kind of more of a racing frame. It's a little bit lighter than the cockroach frame, though. So, yeah, if somebody is running cross-style AIOs that wants these iFlight frames, let me know. And I'll sell them to you really cheap. Cool. We've also got... We don't also have... I just started saying that in hopes that I would think of something that we can... that's sitting here on the desk that we can kind of test. What's on the shelf, though? What do we have over here? That's... No... We have the rig with the 603s over here. There's that. That doesn't really do us any good, though. We've got the... this is the Fractal 75 build, which is going to get a... you know... This is going to be a build that I'm going to sell. And then I think this is a toothpick build. Yeah, this is a toothpick walk snail build. This will be really fun. And then the last build bag is for a Fractal 65, but we're not going there quite yet. We already have one of those. At some point, I want to do a walk snail Fractal 65 build, but I need the camera, I need the VTX, and... I guess I also need to decide on an AIO. So, yeah. In the chat, who's in there? Who's hanging out in the chat? Who is it? Just in Time, FPV was first. He says, CiottiFPV, how's your day going? I'm exhausted, dude. I'm absolutely exhausted. But here we go. We're going to do this together. We're going to make it through. Douglas Otwell, Frank Nicholas, Apache Spoke, New Sniper, Hockey Rounds, Flush FPV, Jason Black, Troy Prelog, No One FPV, Mr. Dr. Death, Kevin James, Northern Tier, 661, Matt Trombley, License to Drive, Mr. Dr. Death again, Merryman FPV, CH3 FPV, Kevin James, Scott FPV, Curtis Preston, Zero Taste FPV. Chick with a Stick, Hockey Rounds, Curtis Preston, Gusto FPV. What's up, everybody? If you want to talk directly to me in the chat, all you got to do is type CiottiFPV. If you do it, it'll light up on orange. And I'll know that you're talking to me. Or at me. Either or. Patchy Smoke says, good evening, CiottiFPV. What's up, everyone? Mr. Dr. Death says, hello. CiottiFPV and gang. Hope everybody's doing fine. CH3 says, what's up? Mr. Dr. Death says, sup? How you doing? Hopefully you're healthy now. I'm healthy. I'm still like sniffly and snortly, and it's super annoying. I'm super over this. I want it to go all the way away. Chick with a stick says, your hair makes me so eggplant. Fair enough. Me too. Zero Taste. If you want me to see your messages, just type CiottiFPV, not just Ciotti. I just happened to see it though. He says, what's the lightest 75mm whoop you've made? That is a good question. If we go to my channel here, off on the right, there's a little, you can do this on every single channel. There's a little magnifying glass. It's kind of hidden. This will let you search just that channel. So if I search 75mm, Ultimate 1S 75mm build 1 year ago. This is probably... No. I had a whole bunch of iterations of 75mm rigs 3 weeks ago. No. 2 years ago. Is there a way to sort these by... No, there's not. Wish there was a way to sort these by recency. Well, you know, the current one is about as light as I've gotten them. To be honest, my current 75mm Jungle Gym Basher. This is about as light as I've built it. I have built it a little bit lighter than this before, but I didn't really like it. And like, you know, just building as lightweight as possible just for the sake of being as light as possible is a fool's errand. This guy right here is 24.2 grams. Foxier Razor camera, X12 AIO, BT 2.0, Tiny Whoop 0802 iGao Special Edition, 1.5mm motor shaft, 27,000 kV motors, Mobula 7 V4 frame, Gemfan biblades, impossibly lightweight video antenna. Ceramic antenna broke off, replaced it with a little piece of wire that saves a little bit of weight. Little foam tray adapter down here so that I can run the super lightweight batteries. And then a McStinky mount. Like I said, I've had this a little bit lighter on slightly lighter motors. There are frames that are slightly lighter than this, but this is the most durable setup, and durability is way more important than lightweight to an extent. Like, having enough durability is important. Having a rig that's overly durable at the sacrifice of weight is not good. This is not that. This is exactly as durable as it needs to be for me and for how hard I fly and how hard I crash. So yeah. And when I had these, so these 75mm rigs are still not good in the house. It's still too heavy for flying around the house. And so having it be, and I tried that, like I tried to keep going lighter and lighter and lighter and lighter, hoping that at some point it would be better than a 65mm rig inside, and it never got to that point. And it got to the point where it was so light that I was having to sacrifice durability, and that's not a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I'm not going to have a rig that breaks all the time in the name of lightness. So yeah, this is as good as I've gotten them to be. We can put a battery through it today if you want. Gusto is still waiting for prop poppers. Jason Black says, do you think there will be an 85mm fractal frame? I don't see why not. You know, he just has to take the design and just blow it up a little bit. And I think with what I think you might see instead of that is an 85 millimeter O3 carrying fractal frame. This is just me spitballing, but yeah, I would not be surprised to see that. I've absolutely no idea if that's in the works or whatever, but with how popular that little formula is getting, yeah, that would be maybe my guess. Although I don't know why he wouldn't make. To be honest, I don't know why he hasn't made already an 85 millimeter frame. Other than like the motor selection, the part selection is kind of not great. But yeah. How does it not exist already? That's my question. We'll see. Eves makes cool stuff. Chick with a Stick says, building too light and you float, it's a fine line. Very true. Very, very true. Troy Pulag says, would you recommend the X12 again for a 75 millimeter build, or the AIO from the Mobula 6 is a better choice? Man, that's a really good question, Troy. I did not have any luck with my first X12, and that really put me off. This replacement X12 has been fine, but admittedly, I have not flown a ton of batteries through it. I'm probably only like maybe 30 or 40 batteries into it, and that's just really not enough. You got to get up into the hundreds of batteries to really know if something's durable. I have not. So my original X12 failed earlier than any of the regular Mobula 6 AIOs. And that's not great. Like, that sucks. So I'm super sketched out by the X12. And like, here's the other thing, right? The X12 doesn't really give us much of anything. Like, yes, it's got the 12 amp FETs in it, but the regular Mobula 6 AIO with the 5 amp FETs is fine, even with the bigger motors and even with the bigger propellers. So yeah, I don't know. The X and then the problem with the X12 is it's gigantic, so you can't put it in most frames. And so like, if you go with the regular Mobula 6 AIO, if you decide someday that you don't want a 75 millimeter anymore, you can switch it to a 65. With the X12, you can't do that, right? Like, the X12 is forcing you into 75 millimeter land forever. If you've got jungle gyms near you, though, nothing wrong with having a 75 mil forever. It's really good in that setting. So yeah, there are my thoughts. It's a pretty personal decision. I think you want to make the decision based on locations, flying locations. Like I said, if you've got some jungle gyms around, maybe the X12. I mean, there's a chance that the X12 will last longer, right? Because it's got the 12 amp FETs. There's a yeah, that technically should be more durable. The question mark and the problem with AIOs is everything else, right? Is the VTX going to hold up? Is the ELRS chipset going to hold up? Is the gyro going to hold up? The FETs blowing up nowadays is not really the most common failure point anymore. Everything else on the AIO is. So it's kind of like, well, what the hell does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, what does it matter? Is as long as the FETs are close to being big enough, then it's kind of good to go. Although, as I say that, it's kind of like, well, it does matter, because if a higher amp rating FET, like a higher amp rating FET, should not ever last less long than a lower rated FET, right? I guess it could. You know, I mean, we're not killing, with tiny whoops, we're not killing these FETs by putting too many amps through them. We're killing these FETs by crashing the rigs and by, other means. And so the amp rating of the FETs is just not all that important. I guess the X12 does give you a little bit more VTX power. So if you're going to fly your whoop far away, you'll get slightly better video. But how often are you really going to fly your whoop far away? You know, I put the Mobula 6 board 1,400 feet up, and at the last second before I turned it over, the video looked pretty bad, admittedly. But as soon as I flipped the thing over so that the antenna was not behind the AIO, the video quality was great on 25 mil. I probably turned the output power up. So it was probably on like 100 milliwatts or so. So yeah, there you go, man. The choice is yours. There's all the things that are the most important in my opinion. I think one of the big things though is that the X12 board is always going to be a 75. You're never gonna build a 65 with that. So yeah, if you're gonna have a half a dozen different tiny whoops, cool. Have a 75, you know, that lives forever, and join in on the durability testing of the X12, right? Let us know in the Discord in Tiny Whoop and Toothpicks how many batteries you have through it, how it's holding up, stuff like that. If you're only gonna have one or two tiny whoops, and you're gonna mainly fly them in the house, I would maybe get the regular Mobula 6 ELRS board. All right, got these motors out of a frame that I'm never going to use again and into a clear Mobula 65 frame. An OG Meteor 65 frame, not Mobula 65, Meteor 65. Now I can just throw it over there and forget about it. Okay. This is my full-time job. If you like these live streams and would like to see them continue, head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Lots of buttons for you to click. They all help me out. Patreon helps me out the most. It'll get you access to the Tiny Whoop and Toothpick text channel on Discord, where Hockey Rounds posted a couple of really interesting pictures this morning. Trey Pulag with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much, brother. He says, thanks, man. You're certainly welcome. Very generous of you, my man. Thank you. That's how you keep this show rolling, my friends. By supporting your gangly ass buddy. Alright, check this out, yo. Check this out. Hockey Round says, CiottiFPV and everyone, thought I'd share my recent discovery. Just received some new Meteor 65 frames in clear. With the right lighting, you can see what looks like seams from the molds. I'm guessing these are the weak spots on the ducts. So this is a regular Meteor 65 frame. But what I did notice during the durability testing on Friday is that, yeah, the regular Meteor 65 frame does the same thing that the air frame is doing. There's like this spot where it tends to crease. And Hockey Rounds noticed that in his brand new frames, you can see those spots that it then starts to crease. And they're right here. They're in between the ducts here. You can just kind of see them, I think. And so what we've been talking about over on the Discord is that during the injection molding process, so they've got like a mold, and there are injection points that they inject the hot plastic. And so when they inject the hot plastic, it flows through the mold, and then it meets up with itself in different locations, right? And then there are also like air holes and mold release, not mold release, but yeah, there's other spots and there's other things going on in the molds. Something that can happen is when they're injecting the plastic in, where the plastic meets can potentially be a weak point, and I think that's what we're seeing here. It can even cause bubbles, right? Because you've got air and then you've got liquid, hot melted plastic liquid coming in, And then when it meets like this, you can have tiny little air bubbles, right? Because it's not just like a laminar flow of the liquid hot magma plastic. So maybe that's what we're seeing here. You know, I'm tempted to say like it doesn't matter because there's nothing we could do about it, right? Like it just sort of is what it is. What I am interested though is, can I see those spots on the Meteor 65 airframe? Yes, I'll be able to, right? Like I'm sure that their process for making the new frame is identical to the old frame, but it's an interesting kind of little point of information. So let's really quickly take a look. You know, the reason I say it doesn't matter is like there's nothing we can do to fix it. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just and that's why Hockey Round says like, you know, I found something interesting. Like he gets it. But yeah, out of curiosity, like, yep, and you can see little spots here. It's going to be tough for you guys to see it, but you can see little spots here, even on the blue frame, where, yep, and you can see it right there. This is the one that we're getting the creasing on in the other frame. And yeah, there is a visible line there in the plastic. There's another one out here. And then there's another one here. And then there's even another one here. So, yeah, I mean, see, there's one right here. This is the one. This is the problem one right here. You can see on the clear frame, it's super, 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 super obvious. It's super obvious if I take the light away. Yeah, that's that line after taking a whole bunch of abuse, right? It's just finding its little weak point. You know what's interesting is it's finding a little weak point here as well. This plastic is starting to get really white, and that makes sense. This is getting pushed in. It's kind of creasing there, and then it's also kind of creasing there. Yeah, I mean that's just plastic being plastic. You know, there's like, it kind of is what it is. The OG Meteor 65 frame was extremely durable, extremely durable. This is one that I've been bouncing around for a while, and we can see right here, there's that same little spot. And yeah, like it eventually it creases inwards, the propeller hits it, and then you just kind of crease it back outwards, and you keep going. So like, yeah, the airframe, maybe the airframe, since it's lighter weight, maybe this is going to be more of a problem. You know, like looking at this already looks way worse after one day of flying than this one does on the OG Meteor 65, which has had many days of flying. You can see it on the other side here. But, you know, plastic gonna crease, plastic gonna bend. It's just kind of one of those things where that is gonna happen. You know, I would love it if they could clean that up, but if they cleaned that up, we would just, another spot would you know, the next weakest point would show up. We would gain a little bit of strength from that, right? Like, or maybe a lot of strength from that, but I don't know. It doesn't feel like it's something that can really be solved. And like these Meteor frames are so damn strong that like I'm tempted to say like I don't want them to try to fix it, because if they try to fix that, it might make a bigger problem. I don't know if that's like, that might be a little witch hunty in a way, but, or maybe not. Maybe that doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I'm glad the Hockey Rounds found that. It's an interesting thing for us to like think about. Let me put a poll up and ask your question. What should we do? Build fly. All right, the poll's up. You guys get to pick what we do first. We can move the... I don't even know. If you pick build in the poll, what you're saying is that we're going to move this black Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop into the airframe. We don't have to do that. I can leave this in the Meteor 65 frame, and by doing that, we've got, you know, two pretty much identical Tiny Whoops, one with the lighter frame, one with the regular Meteor frame. I feel like we've tested the regular Meteor 65 frame to death, and there's really nothing else for us to learn. I flew these two back-to-back the other day. I think maybe this felt a little bit heavier. It is a little bit heavier. It's got all metal screws. It's got a longer BT 2.0 lead on it. I don't know. I don't necessarily know what we gain from leaving this in the Meteor 65 frame. I think that we're pretty much all going to move to the airframe. Or maybe not. I don't know. But a vote for build is a vote for taking this out of the regular Meteor 65 frame. It's not like I can't put it back in the Meteor 65 frame. Or, I mean, technically speaking, or we could move this other rig over. We could move this guy over that's on the 0603s. Oh, look at that. This Meteor 65 frame is broken. Well, that made the decision easy. Yeah, the battery bay on this Meteor 65 frame is broken. It's the second one of these battery bays that I've broken on these Meteor frames. I wonder if the air frames will be any better when it comes to that. Let's move this over. Let's move this over. Let's leave this guy alone. And we'll move this over into the black frame, since it needs a new frame anyway. This has 0603s on it. We can see how the 0603s line up with the new ducts. Let's do that, because this be broken anyway. And then we'll do a little head-to-head. 0603 versus 0702. I would kind of like to maybe get this camera out of here and put this back into a Mobula 6 canopy with a Runcam Nano 3. I did just pick up an extra Runcam Nano 3, so I think I'll do that at the same time. It's ready to go, plug and play. I should have another black canopy. We can go black frame, black... Maybe? I kind of wish that I'd put this into the blue frame. You know, I bought this light blue frame. These 32,000 kV motors from Tiny Whoop are light blue. That was kind of silly to not put this into the light blue frame last night. But, you know, that's life sometimes. So, yeah. Yeah. Let's do that. But so build is at 54%. So it looks like we might be building first. I'll give it another couple minutes here. Jason Black says, "Do you have a black light to see the frame too?" That's interesting. I didn't think about that. T-Dog's in chat. What's up, brother? T-Dog says, "Mine typically break from the mods." The mods? What do you mean the mods? T-Dog, I'm going to make you a moderator. You do not have to moderate. I just want you to show up in blue so that I can more easily notice you. Matter of fact, please don't moderate. I have too many moderators as it is. So, yeah, just be blue. T-Dog, tell me more. Mine typically break from the mods. The mods. Break from the mods. I don't know what that means. I think it's a spell check thing. Off Axis says, "I flew my Mobula 6 HD for weeks with no issues, but last time it flew, I flew it down a bit low in battery voltage, and the crazy B board reset volt on me. Today I'm reflashing firmware." That sucks, dude. That is the worst thing about some of these Tiny Whoop AIOs, is that they do that. If it happens more than once, change your low battery and warning voltages to be a little bit higher so that they're blinking and flashing a little bit earlier for you. I actually need to do that on one of these rigs. I noticed it the other day. I flew it down really low. Oh, it was the Hummingbird rig, actually. So I don't have to worry about that until a new one comes. Gauge Stays Fly FPV says, are you running Betaflight 4.4 on any of the modular flight controllers? No, I'm not. I'm perfectly happy with 4.3. There's really nothing in 4.4 that I'm all that excited about. And yeah, if you've got something that flies great, don't screw around with it. Fly it until it explodes, and then when you're forced to change. But yeah, We Bleed FPV says when he adjusts the original frame, he modifies. Right. Yeah, so the racers do some not really serious modifications, but they do some modifications. One of the main things they do to the Meteor 65 frames is they cut these outer support pieces off. See, so you can't cut this off because it's got the posts that the AIO sits on, but there's this extra little support piece here, and here, and here, and here. And the top racers cut them off to save a little bit of weight. So I'm guessing that's where these things break. 661 says T-Dog does specific modifications to the frame to reduce weight for racing. They also do some other crazy things like shaving the ducts down. Yeah, I mean, they just go around the frame and they remove every little tiny bit of extra plastic. What it sounds like is that Betaflight has done that, right? Like they've removed all of the plastic. Oh my god, he cuts off 2 struts per duct too. These are the struts. Yeah, it sounds like, doesn't sound like we know that Betaflight has gone through this thing and removed as much plastic and weight as possible. So kind of interesting. I would love to see some feedback from the racers as to what's more durable, a regular Meteor 65 frame with the mods done versus the air frame with no mods done. Although I have a feeling with how competitive those folks are that they're all just going to run the air frame with the mods and let the damn thing break. These are what, $4 per, $3 per. And you just build more rigs, right? Instead of having 3, you have 6. And as they break, you throw them in the back of the car, grab a fresh one, and then when you get home, you swap all the frames over to freshly modified frames, and yeah, away you go. You know, that's how racing tends to go across the board. It was like that in motorsport, but with way more expensive things like engines. You know, you could, if you had enough money to throw at it, you could have an engine that makes incredible power, but at the cost of durability. And you know, you get like 1 season out of it, and then in the off season, you tear the engine out, you pull it all apart, you rebuild it, and you win. But at what cost, right? At the cost of a lot of time and money. Tiny Whoop Racing is the cost is certainly not money, but it's time, right? It's time pulling things apart, modifying them, breaking them, modifying a new one. So yeah, how much time do you want to spend ends up being the long and short of it a lot of times. Why didn't I put this blue frame? I don't really love this blue. It's a little bit too, I wish it was a little bit more pale blue. I think I just need to get another one of the Meteor 65 airframes. I don't know if I want to move this 0603 rig over into a black frame. It looks kind of cool all cleared out. I will not put it into the blue frame though because the motors are red. So I've got a real conundrum on my hands. What a dick. I really like the way these look with the clear canopies, and I have a couple of extra of the clear canopies. Build is at 54% still, so we're building. If I move this over, I can also modify the BT 2.0 on here. I really don't feel like doing that at the moment, though. I'm just so goddamn exhausted. What the hell camera is this? Is this the Newbie Drone BI camera? I think it is. I think this has the BI camera in it, which makes it like different to fly. Let's move this. I also don't know if it makes sense to move this 603 rig over, because the 603 motors have so much power that I would almost kind of rather keep this in the Meteor 65 frame. Freeload with a $5 super chat. He says, because car guys like to show off their cars and car things if you could. It's true. It's true. Thank you, brother. I do want to get this off of this camera. Like, I do want to get this onto the same camera as these other guys, so it's a little bit of a better comparison point. So let's do that. Let's get the BI camera out of here, and we'll put a clear Module 6 canopy into this with the Runcam Nano. But we're going to leave it in the old school Meteor 65 frame that I can't imagine won't be a little bit more durable. Oh man, the AIO popped out of this frame. Yeah, this thing needs a little bit of love. Let's give this thing a little bit of love. We'll give it a new camera, and then we will fry it around and compare it to the super lightweight rig. Yeah, that works. And then I don't know, maybe we will move this over to the black airframe. I don't feel like, I'm just not in the mood to get the soldering iron fired up and do another one of those BT 2.0 things. What did I say I was going to do? Clear canopy, right? Yep, here it is. Okay. Word on the street is bird. It's bird. Bird is the word. Isn't it? I think it is. I think it is. Although this build being heavier, it would be kind of cool to put this into a Meteor 65 airframe and really bang the shit out of it. But I think we know what that would... I mean, we're already like not having... I'm not going to say that. That's... All right, I'm just going to say it. We're already not having great luck with the Meteor 65 airframe on a really lightweight build. So putting an even heavier weight setup into it, I think we know what would happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's fine, though. The Meteor 65 airframe, I still think it's fine. I don't really think it's a problem. I think it's going to crease in that spot, and we're going to bend it back, and it's going to crease in that spot, and we're going to bend it back, and it's going to crease in that spot, and we're going to bend it back. And I think it's going to be okay. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. I try to be wrong as often as possible without screwing other people over. Because, you know, the only way to learn is to be wrong. All the time. Oh, man, I got to pull these motors out of this frame. Wait a second. That's right. This I realized that this frame is broken. So I do need to swap this frame. Balls. Okay. Hold on. Let me think about this. I do have another Meteor 65 clear frame, which I might just use. I'm annoyed because that's the frame that I was just at the beginning of the stream swapping a different set of motors into. So it's kind of annoying that I'll have to now remove those motors. Not the end of the world, though. Yeah, so this is what's been breaking on these frames. Here, I'll show you. Hold on. I can just cut this strut out. This frame is now ruined. This is me struggling to get the BT 2.0 lead out of here, but since this frame is broken. This is the second or maybe third time that this front strut here that holds the bottom of the front of the battery has broken. You can still fly it with this broken, but the battery will like kind of push into the AIO, which is not ideal. So yeah, I don't recommend it, but it's one of these breaks that's like, well, it's technically broken, but it's kind of okay. So I guess one of the decisions that I need to make here in a second is what color do I want this rig to be? Do I want it to be red and clear, or do I want it to be red and black like the other one? It would kind of make sense to build this thing black right now, because I don't think I'm going to put this into an airframe. I think I'm going to put this into the regular Meteor 65 frame, and I do have an extra black Meteor 65 frame. So I have a feeling we'll make it on that road, but I don't know, man. The clear looks so cool. We Bleed FPV with a $10 super chat. Thank you, homie. He says, use the airframe, build, destroy, repeat. I wish I had another clear airframe. I mean, what we technically could do, these 603s do have enough grunt. No, we don't have. I was gonna maybe think about doing some 35mm propellers, but they're only tribal. No, we're not doing that. They're not better. They're just not. I cannot get enough of these 603s though. My God, I really hope that Tiny Whoop makes a production run of these 603 30,000s. Maybe even 603 32,000s. I would love to run these on bi-blades. 603 as a motor size is lighter with less stator volume than 802, but it still has plenty of... it still has enough stator volume for the bigger propellers like the tri-blades. The 702s are great and all, but you really can only run bi-blades on them. They do not like tri-blades, in my opinion, from like a freestyle standpoint. I just want to make myself a little reminder by cutting this out a little bit. That this is a frame that, instead of just throwing these frames away, I cut the ducts off for fractal builds. I don't do enough fractal builds to warrant needing this many ducts. But if one of you guys is doing a fractal build and you want a set of ducts, I'll sell you. I'm starting to like pile up on these, so yeah, I'll hook you up and sell you some ducts cheap. So just let me know. All right, there we go. So that's just my reminder to cut the rest of this up. And let me just real quick. So yeah, I mean, in case you were wondering, for a fractal build, that is the process right there of cutting the ducts off. Just be careful. A couple of these supports link up with what you're cutting, and you don't want to cut too deep and cut the support off. So leave extra material and then come back in like I'm doing right now and just cut a little bit extra off. As with anything, you know, once you've removed it, it's gone. So just don't screw up, you know? Just don't screw up, guys. Don't screw up. Thanks again, We Bleed, for the super chat. Very cool of you. Jason Black says, what does one do about Dead stacks and AIOs. It's not a terrible idea to save them. Every once in a while, someone will get a hot air station and start repairing stuff. And if you have a bunch of if you have like a couple of the same dead AIOs and like on one of them the gyro died, on another one the OSD died, you can sometimes persuade that person to combine them into one working AIO. So yeah, I hold on to stuff. I hoard stuff like a lunatic. I try not to advocate hoarding because it's not the best thing in the world, but and it is what it is. What do we do here? Clear or black? Or hold on, let me see what I have in the magical box of magic in terms of. Oh man, so I've got loads of extra clear canopies. I've got 3 extra clear canopies right now. So, good lord, I've got 4 extra clear canopies right now. So we're putting in a clear canopy. That's almost certain. Although I do have a couple extra black canopies too. Damn it. Here's an extra black canopy right here. Hold on. I'll have this figured out in 1 second. Here's an extra goober canopy. Where the hell did this come from? Here's an extra black regular Meteor 65 frame. I don't know what to do. What is this? Oh, these are the extra. Okay. Yeah. Well, you know. I don't know. Let's put it into a black. Black and red does look great. Somebody in chat said black and red looks so cool. God, why do I... Okay. Let's put it into a black frame with a black Modulus 6 camera. Canopy. Let's do that. Just because it's going to have the red motors, and I have a fresh black frame right here, and I just don't see the point in having these heavy motors in a heavy, in the lightweight frame, right? It's just gonna bend that lightweight frame up even more. You know, when you've got more all up weight, you need to have a heavier duty frame. And yeah, that's the situation that we're in here. So let's get this put back together. And okay, so this is the OG frame. The little arrow is going to face rearwards as per the location of it and the way that the battery kind of mounts in there. That's by putting... No, hold on. I think I'm wrong. No, the battery faces forward. On the airframe, the arrow faces backwards. I remember now. Right? Yep. On this frame, the arrow faces forwards in order for the battery to sit a little bit farther back. Yep. Yeah. Okay. You can kind of tell by how difficult it is to fit the BT 2.0 through the hole in the frame. When you do it the one way, it's really easy to fit it through the hole in the frame because the battery bay is shifted in the opposite direction. When you do it the more difficult way, you know you're doing it because it's hard to get that in there because the battery is shifted rearwards. LeBeast says, using tri-blades, I am indeed on these 603s. These 603 motors have enough grunt and enough stator volume to work really well with these super low pitch, super lightweight Gemfan 1208 tri-blades. They work fine on the bi-blades, but they're only 30,000 kV. And at 30,000 kV, there's a little bit of extra headroom to make a little bit more power. And like, if you're going to be dragging around the heavier motors, you might as well make the extra power. You know what I mean? So that's kind of my philosophy there. These 60330s are phenomenal on bi-blades. The response time is absurd. The PID loop is like absolutely dialed. It's really, really, really impressive. But on the tri-blades, they're almost as good, but with added rage. No. With... I don't know, man. I'm tired. Just pretend like I said something that makes sense there. What were we talking about? Jason Black says, are you looking for ELRS towers? 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 What do you mean towers? We're going to use the new 4-post black canopy here. ELRS towers. What's an ELRS tower? Is that maybe the ceramic antenna? Is that what you're asking? If that's what you're asking, the answer is no. By replacing the ceramic antennas with little pieces of wire, you actually get better signal strength. So I will never do a like it's a blessing when the ceramic antenna breaks off. You know what I mean? Okay, so this thing goes in here sideways like, and then this screws to this little extra piece. Okay, there we go. And then this guy goes in the other corner. Okay. That. Hold on, this is starting to cross thread a little bit. Let's just get that cleaned up. There we go. All right. Okay, these holes are not threaded. Like you're gonna have to really push on this because you're kind of threading it yourself. But just give it some rage, but within reason. And same thing on the other side. All right, cool. So we've got the camera mounted to the backing plate. Now we're going to mount the backing plate into the canopy. This is kind of the kind of difficult part. Best way that I've found to do it is to get, so there's a different screw. There's a different screw for the sides of the canopy. These Mobula 6 canopies come with 6 of these screws here, which are conical. And then it comes with 2 of these, which are more button head, and they're shorter. These 2 guys go into these outer mounting holes here. These conical screws go in the corners. See it there on the top there? In the corner of the camera. There's another one down there to secure the camera to this little plastic backing piece here, and then this plastic backing piece is what goes into the canopy, and the outside there, see it? That little screw hole? That's where these more button-headed screws go. So what I find is that you do what I just did, mount that backing plate, and then you take these 2 guys and you start them into these holes, and they're going to go in from the outside, and they're going to peek into the inside. You don't drive them all the way in, you just drive them a little bit in. And I'll show you why in 1 second. Well, let's try to do it like this. So, all right, get your little magnetic screwdriver and you put it in here. If I'm not looking at OBS to know whether or not the camera is focusing, I'm just gonna do this and talk you through it. And if you get one of these, you'll figure it out. It's not that difficult. So I put them in here. Make sure they're not cross-threading, and just put a couple turns. And I want them to just barely peek out in there. See it? They're just kind of peeking out because I want them to grab that little backing plate. So just put them in a little bit just so that you got the little pointy tips peeking out. And then, what's the wire on the top, I think? Nope. The wire is on the bottom. So make sure you don't put the camera in there upside down, right? So you just kind of put it in here, wires on the bottom, and you just, with the side, you try to just catch that little sharp bit that you let stick out there on one side, and then you just kind of squeeze the canopy like this, so that, and see, I didn't screw them in quite enough. Let's get a little bit more of the pointy bits sticking out here. This side's about perfect. Okay, so wire down, you put it in, try to catch that hole. This is difficult. This is the fiddly bit. All right, there we go. That one side is on, and now the other side, we're gonna just pinch it to open it up, and now that's on there too. So now it's on the little pointy boys. You can see by the fact that it's willing to rotate, and so now you just drive these guys home. Real careful. I mean, you can technically unscrew them and then screw them back in. That will maintain the threading on the canopy itself. But you're going to have to tighten these so often that threading is going to get ruined anyway, so it doesn't really matter in my opinion. But technically, yeah, you can unscrew it and then screw it back in. And that is how you mount the RunCam Nano 3 inside the Mobula 6 canopy. When you buy a Mobula 6, it'll come pre-mounted, and you can just like look at it and reverse engineer it in your head. But it's really not all that difficult. You'll figure it out. I have faith in you. And now you just want to get these outer ones cranked nice and tight, because they adjust the up tilt. Otherwise, if they're not tight enough on crashes, the up tilt's going to change, and you do not want that. So there we go. Let me plug this in here, and we might as well mount it up. So we're going to plug the camera connector in down below the board here. Okay. All right, that's good. And so now we're also going to upgrade this with a singularity antenna. I did find an extra ultra short singularity. So let's just push this AIO down. All right, so we got that and the camera's plugged in. We've got our UFL here. We're going to just pop this ultra short singularity on there, and it's going to tuck up under the canopy here like that. And let's just, with a pair of real fine tweezers, grab this little replacement bit of 2.4 gig tuned length wire that I've replaced the ceramic antenna with, and we're going to just run it up through this slot in the canopy that I like to run it up through. Here, hold on. Give that a second to focus. Or not. Okay, fuck you, Logitech. You can probably kind of see what I'm doing, even though it's a blurry mess. And that's that. That's how we get this guy on here. And then those extra conical screws go up in the frame here, or they pop out. Either or. All right, so put them in there, and then drive that into the, sorry, they go into the canopy rather, and then you drive them down into the frame. The singularity antenna sometimes needs a little bit of love to get it into the perfect position. Okay, there's the rear. All right, the other thing you want to look at is like how the cable is running. You want to make sure that this little camera cable is out of the way of the up tilt. And then yeah, I just push the up tilt down as about as low as it'll go. This new canopy looks like it might be a little bit taller than the old one, which is kind of cool. There you can see where that antenna is going. I just put it in through this last slot, and it just keeps it up here, nice and out of the way. Gives it a little bit of verticality, but just kind of protects it. Jason Black says, I tried wires but had very short range. Any suggestions? No. I mean, as long as yeah, I don't know. I've done it a whole bunch of times, and it's given me better range every single time over the ceramic antenna. I guess maybe the wires that you're putting on are not the right length. The easy button is to go on to Newbie Drone's website, and they have these little pre-cut yellow 2.4 gigahertz tuned wires, and that way you'll know that you're putting the right length on. But yeah, I don't know. I've used those, and I've just I've taken old FR Sky receivers, and I've cut the active parts of those antennas off, and it's been fine. Both scenarios have been completely fine. So yeah, I don't know why you're not getting better range than with the ceramic. And I've talked to a couple of people who've done it, and they've had the same experience where they get slightly better range with the tuned length of piece of wire rather than the ceramic antenna. So yeah, it's weird, brother. I don't know why you're not getting better range. I wish I had a better answer for you. But I've just not had that experience. I've had nothing but good luck with them. And I mean, like, you're getting like noticeably worse range than when you had the ceramic antenna, I'm assuming. Or are you getting bad range with the ceramic antenna as well? That's a different situation entirely. Okay, cool. Just like kind of pushing up on the singularity antenna to make sure that it's nice and free in there. The first time you mount this all up, you can have like a situation where the camera wires are pushing into the singularity antenna. So you just want to move stuff around to make sure nothing's like bound up, which is what I'm doing real quick here. Yeah, it kind of looks like that's what's going on, but I moved it around enough where now nothing's pushing into anything else. So all we got to do now is throw the motors on, and yeah, we'll be able to do this will give us a much better comparison of the ultimate setup with the 702s versus these 603s. These 603s have always been, they've always had like a slightly different camera or been in like a different frame, because this is kind of like an R&D build here. So yeah, this will be kind of nice to have this sort of unified with the exact same setup. And then we'll fly them around for a minute, and then we'll wrap this up. It looks like it's 4:12 already. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna actually take a nap after this. I might just go right onto the couch and just close my eyes. Like I said, crazy weekend, but we're making it work, man. very lucky to be a part of a family of strong people. Yeah, when the going gets tough, we all kind of meet it head on and get it done. And, you know, sometimes that's difficult, but that's okay. Some days are difficult. Got to just roll with it, my friends, right? Get it done, damn it. Hockey Round says, Le Beast has a question. Le Beast says, so your favorite motor right now is 30,000 kV 0603. Absolutely not. I'm intrigued by these 0603 30,000s. They're super interesting. They're the most interesting motor at the moment, but they're too heavy. The 0702 32,000 kV Tiny Whoop and 32,500 kV Weebleed FPV are, in my opinion, hands down, unquestionably the best motor for freestyle tiny whooping inside the house. These 603s are really cool, and it's a really interesting size, but they're a little bit too heavy. What's cool about them is they have enough stator volume to crank these tri-blades. So if you're a fan of tri-blades, I think that these 0603 30,000s are the best motor. Unfortunately, they don't exist. Like this is one single prototype set of these motors that Jesse from Tiny Whoop sent me to spend some time with and give him some feedback on, which I have. Like we went through that process a couple of months ago, and but he has not done another run of motors since then. So I'm just hoping to hell, and I've let him know this. I'm hoping to hell that on the next big run of motors that he does, he gets a bunch of these, because they're just super cool. They're just a very fun, very different motor size. And I think they are a better bet than 802s. They're lighter than 802s. They make, as far as I can tell, the same amount of power, even though they have a smaller stator volume, which is really cool. They accomplish that by having more stator height, and the stator height makes more power than the stator width. And the stator width does not make more torque. Electric motors do not work that way. That is you are bringing car gasoline engines into the equation, and that does not work. It's not a one-to-one. I know why you're doing that, and I did that for a long time. But yeah, electric motors just produce torque. Sure, by putting the magnets farther out, you do gain some amount of mechanical torque. That is a fact. But you gain more torque with an electric motor by making the stator higher, because they make really good torque. Like electric motors make almost all of their torque from almost 0 RPM. These are not censored motors, so they don't exactly function that way. Like they don't make as much torque they actually don't make much torque at all at 0 RPM, but as soon as you get them spinning a little bit, they make really, really, really good torque. So yeah, if you want to learn more about that, Ryan Harrell, a friend of mine, made the website Mini Quad Test Bench, MQTB. But I think the URL is just miniquadtestbench.com. And there is so much good info on there as to how motors work, how ESCs work. It's a really, really, really good website that doesn't get nearly enough traffic. So yeah, if you want to really go down the electric motor rabbit hole, that's going to be one of your best starting points. You're also going to want to start watching Chris Rosser videos. He's really delved deep into how electric motors work over the last 6 months, and he's got a bunch of really, really, really good videos talking about it. So yeah, you can go all the way down the rabbit hole with those two wonderful people. All right. We got 3 motors on here. We're going to throw one more on. We're going to plug them in. We're going to check the rotation in Betaflight, and then we're going to do a little bit of flying here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 batteries charged. I don't think we'll get through all 11, but we'll fly a bunch. And I'm hoping I'll be able to show you guys the difference between this thing with the more heavy, kind of more powerful setup versus the lighter weight, proper Ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop. I really do prefer the lighter weight setup. In the house, I see people complain all the time about how hard, like, how the hell do you fly tiny whoops in the house, and especially like in acro mode. It's really, really, really difficult to do it. So you can either put 10,000 hours into stick time and just fly any old rig, or you can put maybe 6,000 hours in, I'm just pulling these numbers out of my ass, and build a rig that's better suited. And the one thing that you can do inside the house is reduce weight as low as possible. That is how you can get the rig to stop sliding so much, to stop carrying so much momentum. It also allows you to fly more flat, which is really important for me. I like to fly nice and flat. That's a more cinematic style. That's kind of my bread and butter is cinematic stuff. So, yeah. If you want help flying indoors in acro, build a 65 as light as you possibly can. And or if you want to fly as flat as possible, same kind of deal. There we go, yo. The 0603 rig now looks completely different. It's on a fresh canopy. Nice and sturdy. Man, there really is a difference in... So this is a fresh Meteor 65 frame, absolutely brand new. And it's also got the 4-post canopy mount. And there really is a significant difference in the amount of twisting force necessary to flex this frame versus the new Air frame. They very obviously removed stiffness. I mean, you have to. Like, you have to remove stiffness by removing like 25% or 20% of the weight from the frame. We saw this in, I had to turn the PID tune down on this, so that's one of the other ways to be able to tell if you've removed some like structural integrity from the frame. Aaron Lewis, thanks for subscribing while I acted like a jackass. Welcome to chaos. Vincent has had a bunch of messages deleted by Danzilla Terrible. Let's see what they were. Oh, God. That's awful. Thank you for that, Danzilla. I'm going to kick Vincent off my channel completely. So, hide user on this channel. There we go. All right, bye-bye, Vincent. I hope you rot in hell, you scumbag. Chick with a Stick says, can you just repeat / talk about what you just did changing antennas? What's the... Hold on. I missed a whole bunch of stuff. Let me go back. Chick with Stick, can you ask that question a little bit differently? I don't understand what you're... are we talking about... The antenna change that I did just now was just removing like a super simple whip antenna and replacing it with a True RC Singularity Ultra Short. So yeah, that was the actual antenna change that I did. But I was also talking about on these Mobula 6 and a lot of these AIOs that have the ceramic tower antennas for ELRS. Once you start beating the hell out of them, you can break that ceramic tower antenna off, and to then fix it is very simple. I've done it like 4 or 5 times on the live streams. If you go to my channel and you just search for ELRS antenna repair, you'll find a couple of live streams where I've done it. So come to my channel, click on the little magnifying glass here, and just search for ELRS replacement. And Fix Shit Friday, fixing a broken ELRS ceramic antenna. This is one of the first times that I did it. I did it again here, replacing broken ELRS ceramic antenna. Here it is again, repairing ELRS ceramic antenna. So yeah, there you go. I think that's what you were asking about. Hockey Round says, we got that. Gage Stays Fly FPV says, what are the benefits of circular polarized? Range, weight. Range, it's actually a weight detriment. They're heavier. But yeah, range and just quality, just general video quality. The simple little whip antennas, they work and they're simple and they're durable, but circular polarized antennas do a much better job, mainly with multipathing. The whip antenna, it just blasts signal everywhere, and then it bounces off of every surface, and then your goggles have to try to reconstruct all that. The circular polarized antennas send a polarized signal out, either right hand or left hand, and that polarized signal it doesn't bounce less, but it just does a better job of bouncing, and then it allows your goggle receiver module to have an easier job of not having as much garbage from better signal, better range. Better range is debatable. Better signal with less multipathing is absolutely unarguable with circular polarized antennas versus whip antennas. Good question, brother. Paulie Shortcut says, why don't you build pushers? They suck to land because the propellers are really close to the ground. So a lot of times when you land them, you can't take them back off, which is a huge problem for me. That's the main thing. That really is the main thing. With like these tiny whoops, there really is not a great way of building a pusher. Just the way that the frames are built and where the battery sits and where the canopy mounts, like there's just not a great pusher setup. Pusher builds tend to be heavier, because because of what we're trying to package, because we have to try to put the motors and then the AIO and the camera needs a spot. So yeah, the pusher rigs are more complex, they're heavier, and yeah, those are the main reasons. And I do build pushers. I have a bunch of pushers. Both of the live streaming sub 250 gram rigs are pushers. That might be it. Yeah, I guess that's it. But yeah, there you go. That's as good of an answer as I can give you. Chick with a Stick says the why. Off-Axis says, after reflashing the firmware and binding, I found that the VTX and the Crazy BF4 died. Now only a line of sight Mach 6 LOL. Yeah. AIOs suck, man. I hate when one individual component on an AIO dies and the whole thing becomes worthless. It really sucks. What you could do is put an external VTX in, but don't do that. Spend $50 on a new AIO and away you shall go. Let's do some flying, yo. We'll start with the ultimate freestyle tiny whoop because that's what this live stream has been titled. And then we'll put a couple of batteries through this, and then we'll throw this 603 rig up in the air. Might as well throw the 702 rig up in the air as well. Somebody was asking about it earlier. We'll have a good old time, man. We'll fly a bunch of stuff. So let's get it going. I think I'm caught up on chat. Chick with a Six says, thank you. Down the rabbit hole I go. You're certainly welcome. I had a feeling I could read your mind with that chat comment. All right, so these are batteries that have been charged since Friday. The first 5 batteries are going to be, not quite as fresh as the rest. Although, I don't know, it's 427. We might not even get through these 5. We'll see. Why did the video get all weird like that? That was strange. So yeah, here's the ultimate with the airframe. Whoa. Let's see if Teddy is out. Is there a bad puppy running around the house? Nope, he's in there with the door closed. So we can rip, yo! Oh, boy. Here we go! Let's get some hard hit. Oh, God. Let's get some hard crashing in, yo. Really test the shit out of this airframe. Oh, let's continue to test the shit out of this airframe in terms of durability. Oh, my God. I hid that whole power loop by just staring up at the ceiling. You know what I was thinking about in bed last night is doing it in that way. This is what I think about when I can't sleep. All right, so it doesn't throw as far. So instead of a traditional power loop where I continue the rearward, you know, like that, we're going to pitch forward. Oops. Oh, shit. So we're going to try pitching forwards. Ready? And letting it roll like that. Nah, it's not as cool looking. Let's try it again. It's kind of cool, but I don't like it as much. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Don't fall in the water. Where are we at battery-wise? Ooh, we're getting down there. Uh-oh. Yeah! This thing flies great. My goodness. 18.5 grams. Oh, shit. That was a hard hit. Oh, don't make me take the walk. No. Be right back. Walk of shame! Frame's still holding up okay. Everything seems fine. The peak screws are still in there. None of them have broken off yet. That's great. Happy about that. All right, let's burn the rest of this battery here. Whoa, boy. Oh, goodness. Oh, easy, big fella. Do not kill. I can start to hear. Oh, no, we're fine. What I was gonna say is, oh, I can start to hear the tune getting a little bit upset again. Oh, bonus, extra bonus. Oh, so close. Yeah, so we already backed the tune off quite a bit. I might add a little bit more filtering to this, actually. Oh, shit. That was dumb. I should not have discharged that battery down that far. 3.2. Oh, no. Bad, 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 bad. Let's get it right on the charger. Man, I gotta be a little bit nicer to these batteries. This is silly. Yeah. Let's get it into Betaflight, and let's add a little bit of filtering to see if I can then turn the tune up a little bit more. Because I'm in a scenario where I am starting to get a little bit of prop wash. And I would love to tune that out. So let's take a quick look. Denzel says, missed the beginning of the stream. What's shirt of the day? Shirt of the day is a May shirt, a indie rock group from Virginia. Just in Time says, when flying upstairs, do a power loop, but pull back on the right stick mid loop and flip it around. Something different to do. That's basically what I'm doing. I'm pulling the right stick down so that instead of a normal power loop, it's up and then it sits like this. And what I really want it to do is trace the roof. But when you do that, you lose that that thrust vector that's pushing you back. So what's happening is it's stalling out because it's, you know, with air mode on, it's just fighting itself. And I don't think it looks quite as good as doing it as a regular power loop. So, oh yeah, I have a lot of filtering removed here. So let's do this. Let's pull the gyro, let's just pull the D-term filtering down a little bit. Let's pull the D-term filtering down. Let's bring it down to 1.25. That'll add a bunch more D-term filtering, and that should allow me to push the D-term back up. Man, I've got this weird little D-term notch filter on here. I'm going to turn this off because this little D-term notch filter was from the regular non-air frame in some black box logging that Quad 66 did. So I'm going to turn that off. We increased the amount of D-term filtering. Let's save it. And let's push the D gains back up here. Let's push them all the way back up to 1.4. And I'm going to take a little bit more feed forward out just to make the footage a little bit smoother. Dynamic damping is cranked up quite a bit. Eye gain is turned down. I'm going to start turning these pitch sliders up because of that hummingbird tune. This will be interesting. I've added a bunch of pit authority to this without adding that much extra filtering. But I don't know. Let's see. Let's see how it is. Might be okay. Might be okay. Might not. Let's see. Ready? Here's how you can tell. Arm it and listen. Now, don't listen to launch control. Okay, that's not good. Well, actually, it's okay. You want it to be quiet when you're off the throttle. And it is. So let's go. Oh boy. Walk of shame. I have no idea where it is. I'm going to bring the transmitter with me. What are we doing tonight, baby? Sleeping? Okay. Well, it fell in the garbage can. Well, that was the recycling. Oh man, that signal quality sucks. What the hell? It's perfectly clear in my goggles. Oh my god. Oh my god. Help me! I'm in the plant! Oh. I don't want to blow the dirt everywhere. It's in the plant. I know, I'm the worst. Thank you. All right, here we go. Yeah, no, the tune is a bit much. Oh god. Tune's a bit much. Man, it is eating the prop wash, though. The flight characteristics feel great with the tune like this, but it's a little too much. When it's zero throttle, it's like winding up a little bit. Yeah, no, it's a little too much. So let's go into profile, simplified tuning, and we're just gonna cool off these D gains here back down to 1.2. And that should take care of it. Yep. Or maybe I shouldn't have removed that. Maybe I shouldn't have removed that D-term notch filter. There's a chance that was a mistake. It might have been helping. Come on now. Come on now. Let me go. Oh, what the hell was that? I don't know what. I just flew right at that gate and... Oh my god, that was a hard hit. Oh, I tried to Matty flip through there, but got it all kinds of... Whoa! Got it all kinds of wrong, I was saying. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. No, no, no. No. When you get it stuck under stuff, just do this. It'll push itself out. Nope. Or not. Sometimes you just be really gentle. Come on! Oh man, it's under there. God damn it. Oh, I think it's all the way under the... Yeah, okay. There's no getting it out now. It's... I don't even think it could fit under there that far. Jesus. Rough day of flying, yo. Rough day of flying. I feel like I was on fire on Friday. Oh, okay. All right. Oh my god, what the hell? Oh, it hit me. Okay. Yikes, man. Rough. How's the frame holding up? Frame's holding up totally fine. All is well. All right, let me do one more battery on this. I'm just like getting the feel for this, getting some durability in, durability testing in, and then we're gonna move over to these wacky rigs, and you can hopefully see the difference. Maybe not, but you never know. Hear it? It's angry. The airframe absolutely sacrifices stiffness. So if you're really obsessed with PID tuning, you might not like the airframe. I will take a little bit less PID gain for half a gram less weight, I think. Wow, that was weird. Ah! Come on now. Oh my goodness. Oh, right into the drum set! Yeah, get you some. There's the left one. Oh! There's the right one. Oh no! Let me go! Thank you. Oh! Got on the throttle a little too late there. Oh! Tried for another big old throw. Get in there. A little super simple backwards dive. I don't know why people make such a big deal out of backwards dives. They're so much easier than doing it properly. Ah! Stop it! Stop it! No! Ah! No, no, no! Okay. This thing flies amazing. Oh my god. He says as he completely shits the bed on all piloting. It flies great, but man, it won't make you a better pilot, that's for sure. Can confirm. Come on, man, I can't hit a single fucking thing right now. What is happening? What the hell? Uh-oh. 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 Something happened. Something ain't right. I want to say left rear motor might be messed up. Sure enough. It's a big old piece of string through it. Where the hell did that come from? I think that came from the bag. Okay. Depending on how much it wrapped itself around the bottom of the motor, we might be okay. Let's see. Yeah, it's fine. Let's go turtle mode and spin each motor up. Make sure that... Yep, we good. It's the easiest way to see if you've got one motor that's like more blocked than the others. Is just to flip it into turtle mode and go full throttle on each one. Yeah, this PID tune is, we are at the absolute limit. That's going to be a recovery, isn't it? Nope, maybe. Oh, nope. No! Too many walks of shame in one stream. There we go! We good. Oh, that was mega! Now I'm happy. Yeah, buddies. Okay, we fine. All right, let's fly some different shit. So that's the ultimate Freestyle Tiny Whoop. It's just incredible. Hard as hell to fly because it's got a ton of power. And I'm trying to do like big, crazy shit with it. But doesn't get any better than that. That's the most flattering rig ever. Rig that we just worked on, 603 30,000s on the Gemfan 1208 tri-blades. Let's throw it up in the air, and I'll show you the difference in power, mainly, is what really differentiates these two rigs. This thing is significantly heavier. It's probably about 1.5 grams heavier, but man, has it got grunt. Boy, it feels fat compared to that rig, though. Wow. I mean, the power's there. But the weight is there, too. Like, that's the magic of the really high KV 702s with the bi-blades, is that, like, the bi-blades make incredible power. And then having all that KV is really incredible. Ah! Get in there, Lewis. Stop it! Do not kill. A little dive going. Oh, shit! Uh-oh. That might go in the sink. Oh, we're falling down the stairs together. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. This AIO does this shit where one motor doesn't love firing up sometimes. Oh! Stop it! Stop! Come on! Leave me alone! Come on. Come on. Please? What is happening here? Why? What the f... Okay. This is maddening. Not a great day of flying today, but some days are like that. That's okay. That's okay. We gonna be alright. Can you guys tell the difference? I can feel the difference, but it's like I'm trying to show you the difference, but it's tough. This rig flies great, don't get me wrong, but 702s are magic, yo. .702s are magic. Okay. Now let's move over to the 75mm rig. We can really dive into some horsepower and just crash into absolutely goddamn everything. This is the ultimate tiny freestyle smasher basher. Wait, what? This is the ultimate jungle gym basher. And what time is it? 4:49? Perfect. 10 more minutes of making mistakes. We're going to put this up in the air, and then we're going to fly this again with the right scene selected. Stevie Wonder up in this bitch. Oh my god. Holy shit. The hover point is so much lower. This is not an indoor rig. This is an outside quad. Oh my god. Oh boy. You just hear it, man. Oh. Oh god! I did not plan to go through those newbie drone gates. Look at the rage of this rig. The big stuff you can do, but then it's like the subtle technical stuff that becomes really difficult because of the extra weight. Totally flyable indoors, like don't get me wrong. It's the wrong tool for the job. This is just too much. This is too much power. And this is like a big room, you know? If you're like flying in your warehouse at work though, yo. This would be amazing for that. What you know about that? Yeah, look at it pick up speed. Man, it just piles on speed. Look at this fucking thing! It's so fast! It's so hard to fly in the house! But it's... Oh! I went through it! Oh my god! Oh boy. It's like... I am like 4 steps behind with this thing. It's just... Yeah, it's just nuts. It's absolutely nuts! But look, like you can do stuff. It's just you're not doing that stuff on purpose. You're just like pushing the buttons and then like maybe it works. Maybe it doesn't though. And you can slow down. You can slow down and do some of this slower stuff. You can get it. But like, you know, it's just going so fast. And I'm just holding on for dear life. Ah, you bastard, you. Oh my god, just one little throttle blip and it fires it across the room. Where am I? Oh god. Get out of there. Skinny legs! Oh boy, this battery is shot to shit. There you go. There's the best 75mm rig I've ever built inside the house. It's fun. Like, don't get me wrong, it's fun. It's just kind of frustrating because it's just too much. That's a Bit too chaotic, but fun nonetheless. You should build one. Okay, back to the 0603 rig, and we're going to have the camera on this time so that you can see what I'm doing. And here we go! 0603 30,000s in the Ultimate Freestyle 65 setup. See how much less momentum it carries? See how it just kind of stops and it slows down? It's not just constantly, like, charging forward like it's on drugs. But then when you need it to, like, look at that. Like, you can fire it across the room. It's got plenty of power. But then it's got plenty of control as well. Let's get upstairs. Ah! See, so, like, I'm like, adjusted to that 75mm rig, and I'm trying to, like, cut corners closer because I think it's going to slide outwards from the extra weight, but there is no extra weight. Oi. Oopsie, that was ugly. Ah! Oh, shitters. Oh, that was a big, hard hit. Uh-oh. I might have heard it. Nope, be good. There's a big one. Oh, and a big crash, too. Jeez. A little bit of jello. I might have bent a propeller. That was a big hit. That was a really big hit. Let's see. Who's upset? What propeller? Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, I creased that propeller. Okay, let's just crease it back. Yikesy. That was a hard hit. Jesus. That was 2 hard hits, actually. Okay, propeller is creased back. Who's... Oh, man, this right front motor is not happy with life. There it goes. Yeah, this right front motor is hurting. Ah! It's like it was like sitting in the webbing of my hand. That was very weird. Just wanted to give it a second to cool off the ESC a little bit there. Oh, God, it's still getting hotter. Let's see if it still has that jello. Nah, jello's gone. Or it's not. Jello's still there. I don't know. Yeah. It's just a little too heavy, man. A little too heavy. It's the 702s. The problem is the 702s are just so goddamn good on those bi-blades. But if you want like a more grippy setup, this is what I would recommend for the tri-blades. It's not my thing, but nothing wrong with that. People like tri-blades. It's okay. Oh wow, no, the right front motor is there's actually something going on with it. It's not spinning as cleanly as the rest. I hope I didn't hurt it. Because I don't have any replacements. Yeah, something's going on with the right front motor. There's a bunch of I might be pushing the bell down through the thing. I might be pushing the motor shaft down through the bell. Motor shaft. Let's take a quick look. Always just like when there's something weird going on, just spin it, see how much resistance there is, spin it, see how much resistance, spin it, see how much resistance. There's obviously more resistance on this motor. So at that point, you want to look for like, a lot of times it's just hairs that are on the bottom between the stator and the bell. So get your little magnification out here and take a close look. And in our case, it's not hair. So now we look down at the bottom at the C-clip. So what it looks like, yeah, the motor shaft is starting to slip. I can just kind of see it. But what it also looks like is that the metal bushings, I think they're spinning in the stator. But yeah, the main problem is that maybe not. I mean, hold on. Let's compare it to another motor. No, it's got about the same amount up and down. But you can feel it when you pull this motor up and down. You can just feel that something ain't happy. Somebody ain't thrilled. Could just be that the motor shaft is bent. Let's spin the motor like this and see if there's any wobbliness. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Motor shaft be bent. And that's really not something you can fix. That's sort of just replace the motor. That stinks. I'll put a little bit of oil in here to see if I can get this spinning. It's already actually spinning more freely. But yeah, these motors take abuse and they eventually need to be replaced. I mean, that's just the way that it is. But we can maybe bring this guy back to life a little bit with a little bit of lube. Let's super quick, super quick do that. So this is a skateboard bearing oil, and it came with this like pinpoint applicator, which is amazing. So it was motor number 2 up in the right front here. So we just take the little syringy boy and put a little drip in there, and it'll work itself around. You don't need to add a ton. A little bit in there, and then just work it around. And now let's see. It's still a little tight. Still a little tight. There's another metal bushing on the top. You can access by going in like this. The only problem here is it's hard to tell whether you've added too much oil or not. I think I got just enough in there. Oh, there we go. There we go. It was the bushing on top. It was the top bushing that was unhappy. We are good to go again. Tiny Whoop sells motor lube. Just get that. Don't get skateboard lube. Unless you still have skateboard lube from skateboarding, then use it. So there we go, friends. There's the ultimate freestyle, the ultimate freestyle Tiny Whoop versus a couple of others. It's still the ultimate, man. It's I'm a little bit on the fence about the airframe. The tune is good enough with it. I would love it to be a little tiny bit better. I don't know what gyro is in that rig. That might not be like the MPU 6. It's whatever. We can't get the MPU 6000s anymore, so it's pointless to like. Oh, if the AIO just had the better gyro, it would be fine. But it's you know, it's pointless. We can't get them anymore. So yeah, I think what gyro look, get the airframe. It's $4. Try it. If you can't get your PID tune aggressive enough, go back to the Meteor 65 frame. That's really the long and short of it. Yeah, get it and try it. Done. Use my affiliate link if you don't mind. over on CiottiFPV.com, I have a whole bunch of affiliate links, and they are one of the only ways that I can do this full time. And so, yeah, click them before you order, and I'll get a small percentage of your total shopping cart. Chick with a Stick says, you effing suck at flying. I agree. Mr. Dr. Death says, wow, looks so smooth. Daniel 1964 says, is there a way you can set up an audible message when you Stevie Wonder it? LOL. Not really, because then every time that I was on this scene here, it would be banging like audible messages. I just have to pay more attention. But there you go, friends. 4 sort of different tiny whoops. One of them is excellent for outdoor at big spaces. One of them is excellent for indoor big spaces, the 603 rig. One of them is excellent for smaller spaces. And then this is he's sort of the odd man out, but there's nothing wrong with him. He just doesn't have the airframe yet. The airframe versus non-airframe, you kind of can't go wrong either way. Yeah, it's going to depend on what gyro your AIO has. So just get both frames. Try it with the lighter weight frame first. If you can't get the pit tune cranked up enough, move it to the old school Meteor frame, and you'll be good to go. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'm going to go fall asleep for a week. Here comes some flying from after Rampage, actually. It's some random church parking lot. I had batteries that were still charged, so I discharged them. Woo! We made it. We made it, yo. We made it through. Oh. Down with that. Later, friends. See you tomorrow night, 10. Hold on. Won't you have a drink with me? We head into town, see what it's about. Barely need a shirt, though the sun has almost set. Make the most of it. I know we will dance and sing. There's a heat wave. There's a heat wave rolling in. There's a heat wave, yeah. There's a party in the streets and the city's on fire. City's